waiting for one more minute.
Oh.
Is it?
Well, if they're not here by now, we may as well keep going. Thanks, everyone, for coming, and people who are on the line. Christina, you can hear us, I hope?
I can, yeah.
Excellent.
I don't know if everyone else, I can hear people typing. I don't know if there's other people on the line.
We can hear you, and so that means it works, and you can see the screen?
Yeah, I can see. It's all good.
Excellent. So this is our second product walkthrough. We've got a number of features we're going through today, and I don't want to make any of them sound like they're bigger and shinier than any of the others, but one of the ones I'm really interested in is alerts and notifications. So, on that note, I'll hand it over to Michelle, who's going to lead off, and yeah, we'll just go through. If you've got any questions about functionality, if you could just indicate that you've got a question and ask. We are recording this session, and it'll be up on the knowledge base afterwards if you want to go back through anything that we've covered off.
Okay, so I'll present a couple of the less shiny features. The first one being preserve base. So we have a current feature that you can choose to select an element as a base, copy as base, and then choose where you would like to apply it. So let's say I wanted to apply a time base to this guy here. I can apply it. And with the feature as it was before, you could apply this only once. You would then have to, if you wanted to make the same base application, you have to copy it again. Now we have a preserve option, so this is stuck in memory, and if you want to apply it again, you can click on another element, and we've also got a little hover that tells you what the base was if you've forgotten. So that's the first little quick one. The second one is drag different types from the tree to the crosstab. So this is an older version. Previously you couldn't do things like select an axis and a net axis and drag them. This was blocked. You also couldn't drag a header. It was also blocked. You could get around this though. If you wanted to drag different types, you could pick the single type by itself, drag that, and drag the second one and go add to the analysis. And you could achieve it that way. But now we've enabled the multi-types in crosstab, so I could do the same thing by selecting both and dragging it like that, and I'll get the same result. Likewise, you can drag a header, and it will populate the table with all the axes that are in the header. The other feature we have with this is if I was to add, I'll just make a smaller header because that one's a bit big. If I was to add retrospectively an axis to this header, it would be refreshed in the table as well. So let's say I add group division, it will then come up here too. So it remembers that you've used that header as your analysis, and it will update it. It also flows through to stories. If you had a story that included a header, it would update that story as well.
Can you have two or more things applied for the base? Like two?
No, one.
Just one?
Yeah.
So when would we apply the time base? What's the...
So that's like a application of our current predefined bases and setup that we do at the moment. So maybe you wanted, it would affect the percentages. So say you wanted to, say a question was only asked for a certain time.
Yeah. Okay, so the time base was just an example.
Example, sure, you can do whatever you like.
Say, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
But Bonnie, you can create a constructed element from multiple elements and use that as a base at the moment.
So on the predefined base then, if you've got a brand list, for example, and you've got another brand list that says people who are aware of it, and we have to,
one by one, one to one, one to one.
Yeah.
I think that's in the pipeline.
Okay, that's not part of this.
No, that's not part of this feature. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so followed by that, we'll have two more things to introduce. The first one is around groups. So Back in the old version, if I have a group like this, and if normally when we load up a project, there are automations could be done to your group. So the label in the group has changed probably already. So by looking at no, the mouse is not.
Mouse is dead.
It's going to pass the hour charge with it.
I'll check with Gary.
Was unexpected. Okay.
Gonna try again?
Like a little mini post.
Oh, yes. Right. So I have, as you notice, I've relabeled two manually, but this could happen automatically as well when you load your project. So if I go and remove this group, then our previous behavior was to actually by default preserve the label that you have changed in group. So if this happens automatically, then you have no option to go back to your original label if you need to. In the new one, let's go to something here. And if I have that, then when you remove your group, you will have the option to say whether I want to preserve the labels or revert the label. So preserve means using the label in the group, as you can see then, or revert to the old one. In this case, we'll revert to the original label that you have. And as well, on top of that, we have, so if I have relabeled this to something like region, which already exists, then the behavior will be
Charges it for 1 minute.
Is that a wireless thing?
I asked Gabriel and we need that one.
It's not long enough.
Yeah,
The charge.
maybe I'll
Do it for a
go
sec,
on.
yeah.
No, that's.
Yeah. So in this case, if I go and remove the group, it's a different dialog. It tells you that region has a conflict and you can really preserve that label, but you have the option to revert to the if you wish to, or you can cancel it, which will not remove the group. This also applies to dragging single or multiple items out of the group. So if I run this and I drag it outside, then you will get the same dialog as well. Yeah, so that's pretty much the main purpose of this, is to actually deal with stuff in your group that has already relabeled by automation, so that you have the option to go back if you wish to. Now the second feature.
On that, sorry.
Yeah.
So it allows you to relabel it to something that exists somewhere else within the grid, but as soon as you take it out of the grid, it doesn't.
Yes.
So why do we even allow it to select two labels that are the same?
Because you may have brands and elements in two different grids where you've got brands with ratings. So your grid is awareness, let's say, and you've got all your brands, and then I'm aware, top of mind, aware, prompted, whatever. And then you might have another grid which is frequency, purchase brand. Your brands is your axes again, and your elements are different.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Because I found this myself this week by accident, which was great. But when you put two grids in the same analysis, you'd expect those to kind of merge into the same lines if you have like a grid structure. At the moment, they're sitting underneath each other. So like the column 1, 2, 3 refers to the first, let's say spontaneous awareness, whatever, and then column 4, 5 refers to the second grid, which is the whatever that second metric is. Is there any plan to get those to merge? Basically gridding grids together.
It really depends on what it is and whether it's actually logical to merge them. So there we have a feature coming up soon, which is referred as invert axis, where if your two groups are related to each other, but they are kind of in different
grids. Yeah.
Not different grids, but if your axes are actually as the elements of your other grids, then we actually have a feature that to deal with that, to show you a better result or show you a better analysis. But in terms of different grids, but just merging all the way through, it's not part of the roadmap.
Okay. Because at the moment, what I'm having to do is ungrid those grids and then create constructions across the two grids and then create a new grid again, which is fine, but it's a bit manual. So it'd be interesting if you could then get a way to grid grids, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think regarding that, we will. You might actually talk to a team.
Oh yeah. Don't worry, no answer needed today. I just wondered if it was something you could.
Don't worry, Christina will talk to me.
Yep.
Thank you. Cheers.
Right. So next feature that I want to present is actually. So I will show you node version first. So if I want to create a new construction axis, and then if I choose something in the region, I put an OK button there, right? And normally what do you do when you create a construction axis? You actually need a lot of elements inside of it. But previously we had no choice of, given that we have one button before, there's no choice for us to say, actually, I want to create the data behind it or not. Therefore, our previous choice was to actually, every time when you create your new element and you give a definition for it, then we will actually regenerate the data behind it for every single element inside. So by doing this, every time when I hit the OK button for every single element, I'm going to generate data for the axis itself, which means we are re-looking at all the definitions for the elements and regenerating data from them. That's why every time when I click OK, you will see the analysis will refresh and the data will get updated. And you get some data there, right? Now in the new version, if I do the same thing, and one drawback of our previous behavior is that when you get a huge project, everything will actually slow down. And if you have something like 50 elements under your construction axis for like 11 markets, and it's really, really slow and annoying. At the moment, for the new feature is that when we create new elements, they are not only the OK button, but for two buttons, one for save and one for apply. The save will actually not generate the data. The apply will. So you can. The apply expression is kind of the equivalent of the OK button before, and the save expression is something that does not generate data. So in this case, if I go save expression, then when I drag it through, you can see there's no data for E2. And if you can, well, if you keep adding stuff in this axis, and you can save your expressions, just put in your definitions for your elements. And once you finish, you can go back to the axis and say apply expression, or you can do the apply expression for your last element, which will actually generate the data for you. So this hopefully will make things a little bit faster. And that's pretty much it.
There's no indication that the expression hasn't been applied.
Not really. No.
Other than no data showing table.
So what happens if you don't apply the expression and you close your browser? Can you come back?
The expression will still be saved because you still have the option to apply. So you can, well, this gives you an opportunity to refresh your data anyway. So for cases that we had previously where you don't have the correct data, now you have a trigger to actually force it to update. You can treat the apply expression as such a trigger. So
if you click on group division, that apply expression will optionally.
Yeah.
So any constructive item.
Yeah, anytime when you hit that, it will actually regenerate the data.
Do you need to apply the expression before, so say for example you save it, and then you get a download and you open it the next day or whatever, with the new data, will it automatically use it, or do you have to apply it?
No, it will still automatically use the new data.
Yeah, will use the, so it will apply the expression?
Yes.
So this is basically just so when you save, when you build it, you don't have to load it all the time.
Yeah.
So I guess the two of the features we've had so far, but especially this last one, these came about, Wissam, who's not here today, but he'd usually be standing where you needed, so thanks for filling the spot. Sat down with someone from Ops and just watched what they were doing. And one of the things which was sort of readily accepted by them as a way we have to do things for some, looked at it, that doesn't make any sense to me. Is there something that we can do to make that more efficient? And that's where that feature came from. So it just shows a really good thing that we should all do, which is, even though we think we might have a solution for a problem, a fresh perspective, a new set of eyes looking at the same problem might with a new and different way of addressing it, which could be quicker to implement, but also deliver a really good result. So, yeah.
Round of applause for Tim, I think. There he is.
Okay. The next one, I'm not sure how many people here is working with live sources, which is the remote sources. So the feature here, remote source, as we know previously, the remote sources for us is really hard to charge them because we are getting the live source update every time you open your project, and there is no functionality to detect what's the difference between your current state and the online state. So, for example, if your customer update your online source, then you will get that update for free, which is not good for us. So this feature is to let us to charge them and make more money for us. So to demo that. So, okay, at the moment we support two live sources. So one is the SQL source and one is the Decipher. This time I will use the Decipher. And I'm not going to use the live data. It's really hard to update the live one. So I'm gonna use my local server. Okay. So in this case, I should only have 2 counts of that data. And now the user comes to the, oh, I can't see. Right. This is the actual data sitting behind the decipher. So now I just get around it. For example, I add 2 more respondent and save it. So previously, if I So if I load this project again and I try to see the count, it will be 4. But with the feature, we are not going to check the live data for you until the user, the creator, has come to here to refresh the data. So it's telling me there is some more data comes in. And now this time I should have 4 counts. So with the billing enabled, at the moment I disable the billing. Go back to 2. Okay, so now we see it's 2, right? Okay, so now I update the source. Come here and refresh. It should tell me how many data point extra from the last stage and the current stage. So it will allow us to charge them for the live source update. So good for us. So let's update and good. You have 2 more counts now. Okay, that's it.
Okay, now I just want to show you guys what we're doing for the last couple months about the election notification stuff. And yeah, okay. What we have currently, if you load your project.
Yep. Oh, it's probably the login.
Is your name?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to log in. Currently, I'm patent as our no. I'm patent as our tester slash. So I just want to show. Later on, I will show you why I'm doing this.
No, just remove their
Type from the URL. From
URL. The URL. Yeah.
Report onto the site. Yeah.
Yes.
Alright.
Okay. All right. So I'm logging to this site. That's the one we are doing this report. So when we log into and can do analyze, like for example, doing gender Parent status. So now you can allow to highlight single cells. That's one of the feature we are doing. And while you highlight these single cells, you can add in a story for it. The default for a single cell selection, we give a haptic graph for that. So we can say a haptic graph for this. And now you can see this little bell stuff on the side. When you click it, it's not working. Sorry. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, so you can see the alert panel. So that's allow you to set in your alert for your project now. So we have 3 types of alert you can set in. One was tell the significant changes. So if your data was significant changes, when you apply this and set an alert, when the data significantly changes, they will give you an alert for this data point. Another one was data being updated. For example, you have a new data source coming when you update the data, and you can get the alert also. So you can update this alert if you want to more. So this will automatically apply for your alert. The third thing is we call the target about your value range. So for example, you can set in something between 35 to 50. For example, then you set your alert. When your data is under 35 or over 50, they will send you an alert for that. So when this alert has been set up, you can go to your browser. We have new tab here. It's called My Alert. It will tell you all the alerts belong to you or being shared to you. You can see them. So, and when you click this, the alert you created, you can share to someone else. Currently, I can share to my email and also maybe to my personal, but this one I just want to share in my mobile, so that's why I use this one into it. When you click publish, they will give you a hint about this alert being published now. So to those people, but at the moment, the alerts haven't been shared to anyone yet, because you need a trigger to let this alert to flow to your email address. So currently, we make the trigger over here when you publish your project. For example, your new data source being updated. So you need to publish your project. I just create a new label, so make this happening. When you do publish, you need to choose the right people to get this project. And then you will receive the email.
So to qualify to be in that share screen,
over here now. Sorry?
To qualify to be in that sharing of the alert screen, you need to be in the published list?
Yes. Also, you need to be in the alert list. You need to be the subscribed user also. So if it's not subscribed user, we don't display in the panel. Subscribed user. Yeah.
So who can set up an alert and who can?
Everyone can. If you are creating project, can set alert. So
You're an explorer.
Creator can create the alert and click the publish button.
So an
Explorer you can't publish any project, so you are not.
The project's already published out to people in an Explorer.
At the moment, as not, but in our next scope, we were doing the automatic trigger. So any data been based on your alert being set, So any data being updated, that will automatically send the email to your.
So only a creator can basically set up alerts.
Later on, not. Later on, if you are an explorer, also can set an alert. Yeah, but at the moment,
Just a creator.
yes.
This is the stage 1 of the project.
Yes, so probably in the next scope, we were doing that. So now I just receive an email with this alert. If I click this alert, so it will let you into this alert panel. So this, and also you can see from your mobile device something. So, and but I can't access from my mobile to the local Wi-Fi site. I can show you here. Yeah, so if I go to the one I just. So this is pretend in the mobile. We can pretend currently it's working all crossing the device like S5. So this your mobile will looks like, and this is for Android. This is for iOS, and also working for Pad. And over here you can click any of those stuff. For example, the one I've been shared the alert. I can see the detail of it. For not time access, as the default behavior was bar, so we'll show the bars as not clear, but because the projector, that's the one way up data points that you highlighted, and you also get the information, more information about what's the detail about this alert, and you can close it. And also we have in the bottom panel, you can show just you can show all of this, or the one that's going down, and all the ones going up. Currently, I don't have going up.
So Peter, I have one more question.
Yeah.
Every time you click publish, it's going to resend all the alerts out.
Yeah, at this stage.
That is a temporary trigger that we set up
because
now.
this is a request feature by Orange at the moment, based on the time we're doing this at the moment. But later on, for the full function features,
on the update of that.
yes, based on whatever you're setting for your alert. For example, your setting alert is based on updating data. The the alert will be the alert email will be sent your data being updated. If you're setting your alert as significant changes, but your new data didn't significantly changes, it didn't send the alert.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Currently, yeah.
Can I ask a question as well, please?
Go ahead, Christina.
Hello. So just with the time series alerts, I don't know if you were going to show an example of that, but at the moment, the time series is a specific month. So the demo alerts I've been setting up, I've chosen a specific month. But obviously what we want to do is connect that to, so let's say significant change in the latest month. How do we do that? Do we have to set up an axis that is latest time period? And how would you even do that? So I want to see, does the newest month that's come in, does that have a significant change up or down?
Currently, only can set up the one you have, but if it's new period time was coming, you can I can show you that.
Well, it should be, Christina, shouldn't it be depending on what your significance changes?
Yeah, and
but significance changes from month to month or past 12 months, then it should show that, right? It doesn't depend.
Well, it doesn't, because when you actually create the alert on a time series chart, you actually select a specific time period. But you know, show me it now and let's see.
Okay. For example, you have a time period like year to date, and if you want to have analysis with householding composite, and you can.
Well, sorry. Because year to date will change. So year to date actually works fine because the year to date 1 month will be like month, you know, Jan to Feb, and then the next month it would be Jan, Feb, March. But if it was on the month, so I want to see a month.
Months.
You want to see the latest month, so.
You want to have an alert for the latest month coming.
Yeah. And that's what
we're not planned for that.
It's not going to be available for Orange in the second stage.
Yeah.
Which
But
is what we're working on now.
Is there a way we can cheat it by creating an axis called latest month?
Latest month. If you can working for your data to figure one of the element as the latest month, then
so I think at the moment what you can do is you can create an element, a construction element pointing to whatever your latest month is, and eventually I think this is not in the roadmap yet, but we could introduce a formula similar to kind of respondent to expression editor, so that you can actually define your construction element as your latest month, and then you set up your alerts on that.
Yeah, I think it would be fine to manually change I mean, it's not ideal, but in the short term, if we could manually change the definition of what latest month is,
you could.
So
that's the way
the saying is if we set the significance level at the 5% for single living alone now, does it tend to be 10 or whatever the latest month is?
Yeah.
If we get the February data, that's not going to change because it's the wrong.
It's still stuck on the.
So it's not moving.
Because
that's what Christina wants.
Yeah,
but you can create an element, say latest month, under months.
Yeah, no, I understand. But I think so for the next level then would be that it's automatic, right?
Yeah.
Because most of our clients would look at it
That's
on a month or 3 MMT level. So on the time axis, whatever the time axis is. So if we lock it into the time axis, if I say, well, I lock it in on Jan 2012, and then I get February 2012 data and nothing changes because nothing changes for Jan, it kind of defeats the purpose. But I get where we're, I think it's a great where we are at the moment.
Yeah, that's pretty much the
really
stage of this alert. So we have lots of stuff need to work on it. And
just another question on that, sorry. So you showed the single number, so I assume we can show single numbers now.
Yeah.
Clearly. But does it work similarly if I run the whole?
Yes, that's what another feature is we can highlight specific row or column you wanted to be creating a table, the subset of table. So now you can say this story only generate you only that 2 element table. And if you go to this panel, you can see only that 2 element. If you want that crossing by this and set an alert, you can do it now, and you can change this to be set as your another alert will be stuck on your left panel, and also will be showing in my alert panel over here. Another thing is if you want just intersection of this table, we can create that also. So where we give you the subset of the table now, and also you can setting the alert for that too. So it's not limited. You can't save your story like whole page and setting the alert. So you just choose whatever you like to set your alert is. Yeah, that's pretty much we have at the moment for the alert part. And also we can select multi-cell to generate alert. Yeah, that's not functioning. So we'll see the haptic graph, but currently it's not working in this release. But yeah, should be next. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much we have at the moment, and the alert will be flowed to your mobile device if you have access to the site, you can access into it. Yeah, I think that's the thing.
Excellent.
Any question?
Sorry.
Yeah, any question?
At some point in time, can a user set their own alert?
Yes, I own alert. So if you don't
So if you're a
publish,
viewer,
yeah, if you don't publish
to
to,
a story,
yeah,
you set your own alert on that story.
yeah, because if you don't publish to anyone, you just stick with yourself. So that means, for example, you just want data updated, and for
When
your
the data updates,
will be
I
flow
get
to you,
an
yeah,
alert if my,
from
if
your
I meet
mobile.
the whatever condition.
Yes. Yeah. So make the people like you guys easier, and also functional for the company. Other companies want to share the data to the high level.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also that's probably the first stuff in the mobile device. It's quite simple, but we're working more on that.
So when we talk about mobile devices, people access the email alert on their mobile, or is it going to their mobile number?
No, the email on their mobile. So when you click the button in the email, they will go link you through to the website. If you are already been logged in, you will straight see the stuff showing your mobile, like the one I showed before. Yeah, that. Oh, can't find it. Probably this one. Yeah, like this. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Pretty much.
Cool. I think on alerts and notifications, the reason I called it out at the start is because it's been a combination of a lot of work by a lot of people, a lot of whom aren't in this room at the moment. From the concierge demo about a year ago, C-Chen doing the design work, and Rapture and her team who have put up with me reprioritising what we need to deliver for alerts and notifications on a almost daily basis sometimes. Really important thing to know is this is just our second stage. This is a really important part of the platform, from getting information from those decision makers and the creators of insight out to the hands of the wider organisation. So if we use an organisation like Orange, for example, they're really excited about using alerts as a way to get information out to their decision people who need that information. So getting more people exposed to not just the insight, but also IH or Brand Power Station. You can start to then see getting more people engaged with it, more usage, it becomes more valuable to the organisation, which is great for them, but also for us from a commercial standpoint. It becomes more embedded and becomes a more valuable tool. So this is going to be part of an ongoing focus. It's not going to be we've done it for Orange, and so now we can sit back until the next client asks for the next piece of functionality. It's going to be how can we improve on this. And it won't just be features around functionality, it'll be look and feel and then user experience as well. Because when you get to mobile, you start to really say, the user is extremely important. So getting the design right, getting it easier to set those alerts and notifications, making sure the emails are as relevant as possible. So yeah, it's going to be interesting times.
So the user can always also turn those on, can they? But like, I don't want to get this anymore.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Managing those subscriptions is going to be really important. So at the moment, it's one email, one notification for each alert whenever it updates. Could we see a time in the future where you could bundle those up so you'd get one email?
So if you had 5 alerts, you're going to get 5 emails.
No, will be one to notify you, because this panel over here has all the alerts you have.
So if you've got 5 hexagons in this,
Yeah, that means you have
you'll
5
only get 1 email.
email later, not now.
Now you'll get 5.
now we'll get 5, but we'll have to work out of a way how we consolidate it if it belongs to a single story.
Perhaps in Word digest or something. Those all people.
Yeah. And we start to get into ways of dealing with things which we're not creating a special way of dealing with it, because rolling up alerts into a single email is something that people expect to be able to do across any other service that they're using. So we can go and follow industry best practice rather than us thinking about what do we think the best way would be, which sometimes makes some decision making a little bit easier. It also gives us the ability, those alerts and the notification email that you saw, it's pretty generic, to be fair. With Orange, we're creating a customized email which has their branding, which is going to be more engaging for their end audience. So it becomes a nice piece that we can initially as a value add to our initial clients, maybe further down the road, the same way that we design dashboards, we design email alerts. Maybe there's a revenue opportunity there.
Can I add in something? It's been like the result of all the good work from Tim, Darren, Peter, Lynn, Subhash, and Toby. So this is the first version of it. Currently we are working, this doesn't support regular groups and nested groups. That will be coming up in the next 2 weeks, which is happening soon. And that's got some changes to the UI of the alert panel too. So we tried to make it look prettier for the demo, of course. So that's where our focus has been currently.
Hey, well, look, I'd like to thank everyone that presented today. Also, the people that were going to present sitting at their desks, making sure things like multi-access graphs are going to be out today. So in the next of these sessions, which we'll probably have in a couple of weeks, we'll have some more interesting pictures to take people through. Cheers.